Morrelli and Melvin probably have the most high-tech computational fluid dynamics in catamaran.
They did propose some foiling design stuff, and they're working with other...
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Capt Peterson. This is your first time here and you love freedom, fast boats, and cool gear. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. We got many more videos to come. I am here on the 2020 Invincible 46 catamaran at the 2020 Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show. I'm here with Rudy from Invincible Boats.
How you doing?
Thanks for coming back on the channel.
Yeah.
Morrelli and Melvin probably have the most high-tech computational fluid dynamics in catamarans. People in the comments in my other catamaran videos often ask about these hydrofoils. Like, tell me what your guys' take on the hydrofoil deal and what, if anything, you guys plan on doing with that.
Right, so Morrelli and Melvin, we consider them they're the industry leaders in catamaran design. They were also the guys that, if you looked at the America's Cup, those were foiling catamarans that they came out with. The design for these boats came off of their chase boat, so they needed some outboard powered catamaran to follow these big foiling cats as they were racing, you know, going about 40 knots or so in San Francisco Bay. So that's where this original design came from. They did propose some foiling design stuff, and they're working with other manufacturers too that are doing the whole foil design. Our concern on that end isn't so much in terms of, you know, do we want to go that direction? I think eventually what we're trying to build ourselves on is being a technological leader, but we also don't want to compromise on what the traits of an Invincible should be. So an Invincible is a fairly fast boat. They're going to be fuel efficient, but they're known for getting to a certain top speed and running nicely in those conditions. Now, with the foiling design that we were explained to by the designers is that...
By Melly and...
Right, yeah, exactly. Pete Melvin specifically, because he's kind of our day-to-day over there. He's actually coming out to test this boat after the show. Okay. Which is awesome. Hey, Pete. They proposed some foiling designs for us, but the things that we know about the current foil technology as it is that they are very fuel efficient. You get incredible fuel mileage out of it, but you're also looking at a cruising speed similar to ours, you know, 30, 40 miles an hour, but you really don't have that top speed that you're looking for. So you're not going to be going 80 miles an hour on a foiling catamaran or 70 miles an hour on a foiling catamaran. That's something that we do want to sacrifice at this point. Now, as technology continues to progress, there may be a time where foiling catamarans can get to, you know, 70, 80 miles an hour. So we can combine a foil with our...
Like a hybrid kind of deal. Yeah,
Exactly.
So what's really interesting and what I appreciate about the Invincible brand is it seems like you guys really want to make things high-end and refined before you put it out. It's like you can use the whole iPhone versus Android thing. Android had, you know, the contactless battery charging years before the iPhone, but when you put it all together and it's just more reliable and works better, and you have all that R&D, like you said, with what people want on your boat, like there's a price and a premium to be paid for that because, you know, there's more man hours and experience, and in the end of the day, boats are designed based on thousands of years of experience of humans putting this in there, right? And that costs money. Like research and development costs money, and you know, but you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
And this is something that I think people need to consider. And you know, when you're going out like this boat, 80, 100-mile runs offshore, every mile you get offshore, your life is more and more in danger, right? Like, so like putting on, you know, really, you know, edgy new high-tech stuff, if I'm out even 10, 20 miles, you have an emergency, like you don't want to be betting your life and your cruise life on stuff that hasn't been tried and true and proven, right?
Yeah, and our kind of philosophy on that end too is that we don't necessarily want to be first in everything. We just want to be best for what we're doing and what our lifestyle is. Our specific customer is a hardcore fisherman at heart.
Yep.
Do they want some more creature comforts? Like, for example, does a coffin box lounger, you know, take away some of your fishability compared to a traditional coffin box? Yeah, you can do that though. You can put a real coffin box on your boat to make that work. It's just a matter of, if we're going to develop something and build it, we're going to take our time. We're going to make sure that we get all the characteristics out of it. We're not going to give something out there that's, you know, still has a lot of work to do.
Right. I mean, there's got to be a balance, right? Like, there's a yin and a yang to everything. If you're out there and you get stuck out there 80 miles offshore and you know, you've got 4 downspouts coming and you have to get back, and you have this hydrofoil technology that's only got maybe 1,000 or 2,000 hours on it, like you're trusting your life and your cruise life for that to get you back. Like, you know, even if it works and it gives you the fuel economy, that doesn't mean it's going to be reliable for 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 hours offshore fishing, right?
Right.
And
I mean,
you know, it's going to take a while before I would feel comfortable running super far with hydrofoil technology.
whatever Morrelli and Melvin designs, I'm going to trust. It's
Right.
just a matter of what your style of fishing is going to be. Now, if you're a guy that, if you're getting out to those, you know, grounds that are 100 miles away and you're running 200 miles round trip, if you're okay going 40 miles an hour, maybe 50 mile an hour tops for the entire trip, that's great. Sit along for the ride and enjoy it. But if you're coming out and you want to actually have a little bit of extra speed in certain scenarios, that's the only thing that we didn't want to sacrifice on our end. But I would trust them in terms of what they design and build.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just a matter of if anything, like anything else, a lot of this technology has existed for a long time. It's just a matter of now it feels like the software, the engineering, the build quality, the standards, the materials are finally catching up to what the design was. To take a military example from you, I'm thinking of the Northrop V2, for example. That flying wing design's been around since what, the late 40s or early 40s?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Germans had like models of stuff. That's kind of where the Germans inspired that design.
Yeah, it took fly-by-wire though to really make it realistic. Because
Yeah.
before you had to try to put all of this hydraulic into it, then you had these like 4 props or 6 props are on the back of it.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite as realistic. But as soon as technology caught up to it, you could do fly-by-wire technology and jet engines and everything. Oh, it's incredible.
Well, and a lot of the reasons why it probably catamaran stuff didn't take off as much is everybody, I mean, it's, you come to these shows and it's still 80% monohulls. Like, people are traditionalists, especially when they've done something for a long time. They want to keep doing it that way. It's worked for them. And now the boating industry is starting to take catamarans on because they've seen that they work, and there's proof in the pudding with the fuel savings and the speed and the comfort of the ride and all these things. So I believe as more and more people are exposed to catamarans, even just through rides at the boat show, once you've been out once in some nasty waves, you're pretty much sold. The one thing that some people have a hard time with is like piloting catamarans, like driving a car instead of driving a motorcycle. You guys give people a little taste test, you bring them out on the boat show, and they're like, wow, right? So this is similar to the 40 cat that I took out at the Miami International Boat Show. There's a bunch of views on that video. Take a look at it up here. It also made it in the top 5 catamaran video for that boat show. Take a look at the link up here. 2020 Miami International Boat Show. Go ahead and hit that bell notification so you can get all the other videos that we put out for the boat show. There's a ton of them. But this has been a quest of mine since I was a little kid, and I have my little toy catamaran, my little 2 blackout boards on it. If you guys love freedom, fast boats, and cool gear, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. We got many more videos to come, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.